Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Science Chat with Ntigi Saki. It's Wednesday, it's 6:30, and you know what we do? We have Science Chats. We talk to anybody who's bringing science to the community in a fun and innovative way. If you are communicating science, just you are here, we are talking to you. That's who we want to talk to. You don't have to be a professional scientist. It's just about that engagement. So for those of you who do not know me, my name is Ntigi Saki, and I am the CEO and founder of Siakula Digital, where we do science communication training and consultancy. And we also bring, digital marketing to the scientists. So we do marketing for scientists. So we literally handle social media management. We can come to your sessions, take videos, and all of these things that you might need. We've got you covered. But anyway, without further ado, let me introduce today's guest. Today we are chatting to the founder of Nosy Newtons, Fatima Patel, and she is a biochemist, a lecturer, a curriculum developer, a science communicator, and a mom of three. I know, so many titles, right? But that's what makes it so amazing. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to bring her on and let's get this chat started.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to come to your wonderful platform.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us. Obviously, we just have the network doing a little bit of a delay in the beginning. It usually does that and then it mellows out and then everything is fine. So let's just give it a second. Okay, there we go. You see, now it's perfect. It just needed some time to adjust to everything.
As we do always, Monday mornings, you know that story.
Of course, of course. Welcome to Science Chat. I think that's what I'm going to call this segment. Let's go with Science Chat for now. So thank you so much for agreeing to this. I'm really excited to get to know more about you and most importantly, get to know more about Nosy Newtons. So obviously I'm not going to waste much time. I just want to get started in getting to know you, and for everybody who's watching who's never met you, who is Fatima Patel?
Okay, so firstly, thank you, Ntiki, for having me on this wonderful platform. It really is, it was something I think that was required here in South Africa. So I am so proud of you guys and the work that you do. Really, you put it out there and you give us a bit of a name at least. So I'm very proud to be here and I'm very excited. So Fatima Patel is a mom of three, firstly. Let's just start with that. And I'm a biochemist by profession. I did my bachelor's and honors. And then I got married and I had children. And I was looking for different ways to bring in, a rather educational type of a feel to my parenting, as opposed to, using the TV as a bit of a babysitter. Let's be honest, we all do that. And I kind of, yeah, and it's convenient at times, I won't lie, it is. But, we have to try and teach our children to rather be, not consume so much. They need to put out as well. So Fatima then decided that she would make use of her basic chemistry knowledge derived from varsity and go through with some kitchen science experiments. And from then on, neighborhood children joined, and it was a whole, fun afternoon spent in my yard with all the children, basically, trying out all these different chemical reactions and little physics experiments. And the idea was born from there. So currently I'm going to enroll for my master's in research. And I've got a postgraduate in higher education, so lecturing and curriculum development. I did that so that I could basically start Nosy Newtons, develop a curriculum from scratch and hopefully, use that to, put forth science to our people. So that's Fatima in a nutshell.
Oh wow, okay, that's a very beautiful nutshell, and I love the story of how it came about, because it was such a personal story for you, it makes it even more beautiful. And I feel like your why is so clear that I don't think anything could make you decide to not do it anymore, you know, because of your why.
No, no,
And I know that
definitely.
speaking of the
Yes,
kids, you have a segment on IGTV called Surviving Lockdown.
yes.
Tell us a little
And
bit about
that's
that.
okay. So that was born of the lockdown, right? And we had all, everyone was at home and everyone was bored and everyone didn't know what to do. And we were all looking for new things. And we all took to technology, basically, online learning and things like that to pass our time. And so my youngest daughter, with some coercion, decided that she would assist me in presenting this segment. So Almaz is my youngest, and she is, I think, now the most eager because she's at that age. So she lovingly helped me present all these little experiments, all items that moms could use in their homes. Nothing fancy that you need to go out and get, because we have to think now, times are hard. People can't be going out all the time to buy all these little goodies and stuff. So we decided that the segment would be purely items that we've had at home, things that could be used at home to show you the wonderful magic of science in a simple, easy way. I must say, Nsiki, Nosy Newtons is where science communication also works with, adults and mainly, right? This part of science communication for me is trying to get across a message of love for science, but in younger children. So our program is geared towards the, R and double R. And I find there we've got, children who are so eager. They are just, bustling with excitement and, their imaginations are huge. And this is the point I feel that we need to, basically take the bulls by the horns and, show them that there's a way to love science rather than be afraid of it. I mean, we all know when we got to high school and we had to choose those subjects. And then that first lesson of physics came in, and you thought, yo, I'm not going to manage that. But that's why, so the lockdown thing was more to encourage moms that, it can happen at home. We can encourage our children to try out these little experiments. We can encourage them to use their imagination, to try and innovate, to try and invent. And that's what we need for the future.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, especially because they're at such a curious stage in their life already. They're curious about everything. They're busy discovering everything. So that's probably the right time to bring in like, oh, science is cool. So already when they grow up, they don't have this love-hate relationship with science, or they don't hate science. They already have this beautiful love for it. So that makes a lot of sense.
Exactly. Exactly. That you put it so beautifully. That was the thing. We all have this apprehension with science subjects. Oh, I can't manage. I'm not sure. It's going to be so difficult. And if we teach children from a young age that, it's accessible, it's fun, it's exciting, and use, like you say, they've got all that curiosity. I mean, we can harness this into a beautiful future for them.
100%. Okay, so now I know that if one of your kids become a scientist, it's because of you. But who introduced science to you? How did you end up a biochemist?
Okay, well, that is an interesting story. I never started off that way. So in school, the science subjects were quite daunting, I won't lie. I feel there, so when I'm going back now to do my master's in research, and one of the things that I'm working with my professor, Professor Malloy, is she's at the Vaal University of Technology. And one of the things that we spoke about was the actual curriculum that is presented to our children these days. So it's very content heavy, very top heavy, and there's very little practical aspect to it. So, you're reading these books, tons and tons and tons of books, tons and tons of problems, but you're not seeing the beauty of like the practical beauty of science. You're not enjoying it. And that's what happened to me in school. So I passed, I went through to varsity. I started off with the intention of doing optometry. And, that first year when you do the BSc subjects, I fell in love with chemistry. It was amazing. The analytical chemistry lab, the goggles, all it was just amazing. It just opened up an entirely new world to me. And that's where I decided to continue my journey, in the science field. And my love for biochemistry was born from these type of labs at varsity, and the need to know the chemistry of our own body. I wanted to know how each thing functions. I wanted to know why it does what it does, how it does what it does, how can I improve it. And that's where the love for biochemistry came in, and it just skyrocketed from there.
Oh, wow. But, it's beautiful how it came to you, but it's also in a way kind of sad that it only happened in varsity.
Exactly. And I
you know,
almost lost a whole year, trying to figure out if I actually liked it that much. And I think that's where we need to worry about our youth. Ziki, it's so daunting when you've been into the first year when you get into varsity and you have all these eager students, and then you just see them all dropping out, dropping out, dropping out.
yeah.
It's that anxiety, it's that fear. And when I run my Nosy Newtons classes, the joy, the excitement, and there's no fear of failure. They learn to understand that, science is experimenting. It's failing at first, then going back, trying to figure out what you did, getting help from your friend, getting help from your lab partner, then figuring it out and getting that aha moment. So
Yeah,
it is very sad. I think that I only had that aha moment later on in life.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I really appreciate the work that you are doing, and going back a little bit to Nosy Newtons and what you are doing, what has been the most special reaction you've gotten from a child who was doing experiments with you?
You know what? It's the eyes for me. They start off small and concentrating, and then you get that one child, and the eyes just open up, and there's an expression of wonderment. That is my absolute favorite. I have this one child who was doing an elephant's toothpaste reaction, and initially he just couldn't get it right, and he just couldn't get it right, and his yeast wasn't, active enough, and all sorts of little issues. And we sat after class and we tried and we tried. And when it exploded and it was foamy and it was huge and all his friends were looking and they were like, wow, that was the best reaction. The child he was beaming, absolutely beaming. And I can't say there's anything more fulfilling than seeing, the joy on a child's face. That was my most precious experience.
Oh, wow, that's beautiful. And obviously, we know with beauty comes some little bit of struggles. So let's speak about your challenges with Nosy Newton. I'm sure it hasn't been all roses. What are some of the challenges you've experienced with it?
Look, okay, firstly, in terms of me personally, I felt the challenge was, as a female, you're not taken seriously. I will be straight up honest with you. You always questioned, oh, so did you really? Oh, are you that person? And you want to say, you know what, I am. I am that strong person. I am, a scientist, and I love what I do. And with the children, I found that we have raised our children in a very technological type of environment. So they lack tactical awareness. That's a major challenge with Nosy Newtons. So, children don't want to smell, they don't want to touch, they don't want to feel, they don't want to explore. they've got this like a fear of getting dirty, a fear of this, small little things. And tactile awareness at this age is so important, for development, for all sorts of things. So that was one of my challenges. The other challenge was where you find parents, because it is an extracurricular school. So you find them saying, you know what, my child's too young. I don't think science is for her or him. We don't want them to study so hard now at this age. And I try and tell them that, you know what, there's no studying here. It's all about enjoying yourself and enjoying what's around us. We cover so many different aspects of science. So it's not just it's basically all the STEAM subjects. And, we've added in, nature walks, we've done the botany thing, we've done growing of plants, sprouting of our own seeds, things that can help a child practically in life. So another challenge is explaining the practicality of science with regards to real life. I can't sort of bridge that gap, well enough to stop explaining about it, if you know what I mean. So I find that's a huge challenge. The female challenge you know of, and many of the other female scientists, they know that. There's a huge gender gap. So you're not taken very seriously, I will be honest.
Yeah, and I mean, we're trying to bridge the gap. And I mean, representation is what matters. Representation is what's going to help bridge that gap a little bit. So by you putting yourself out there, you're already making a difference. Of course, it's hard for you because, you're pioneering and you're trying to break the glass ceiling. But by doing that, you are now opening up doors for other young Fatimas who would want to go into the space. Now they can see a Fatima and be like, oh, I actually look like her. So I think I can do this too. So you're already doing something. Even if it's hard and it's challenging, you're already doing something to at least tackle it. Yeah.
Thank you. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We
And
want young females. We want, we want them to see us. We want them to understand that there's a career. There's so many exciting opportunities. I was browsing through your guys, the previous IGTV lives and stuff like that. And it was just awesome. I mean, I can't stress how impressed I was. I started from the bottom and I couldn't stop right till the last one. It was amazing. We had authors, we had doctors, it was just researchers, pioneers in these fields. And these are people we didn't know about. So like you said, we're trying to bring out the representation. I'm so proud of you guys for doing this. It's amazing.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about your science communication, because Nosy Newtons is a science communication platform. It's just that your target is kids, right? Because obviously most of the time when people think science communication, they think adults. But you're just like, no, kids are also part of the public too. And with that, what was one of the challenges that you faced in trying to get it right with the kids, in getting that science communication right, and be like, how, because I mean, the thing that already science communicators grapple with is getting the terminology right, and already their target is adults, but your target is kids. How do you even further simplify the terms for a child to understand?
So look, one of my favorite people, Einstein, said, if you can't explain something, if you are explaining something and the other person can't understand it, you're obviously not explaining it well enough or simply enough. You need to understand that with children, like you said, the terminology needs to be simple. We need to use words that they identify with, and then we kind of put in a proper scientific term. In the middle, that's our term for the week. We use that term in every experiment, so they are aware. This term, so for example, combustion. Then we'll do only, experiments related to combustion. We'll discuss eating of air, that kind of expressions we'll use. So children then get an idea of what the meaning of the word is first before the actual word, if you know what I mean. That was one of the things I struggled with when I did my postgrad, to create a curriculum that allowed for scientific terminology to be simplified. Because, I mean, it's not something that you can do. You know, it's a very fine line. So we had to implement the system of a single word or a single concept, and then work the experiments around it, and find a way of, when you deliver the lesson, to allow them to understand the concept first, and then tell them, okay, so this whole thing is this. This is what the word for our experiment, what is happening in our experiment, this is the word for it. Now we'll repeat it. Now we'll use it in a poem. We'll use it in a song. We'll use it in a little dance. And that's how we get to solidify the concept. So it is a bit tough, but I'm finding that as they progress through the year, there are a lot of terminology, proper scientific terminology, that I don't even have to explain anymore. And that is for me an indicator of whether we are progressing or not.
Oh, wow. You know, with everything you're saying, I'm already thinking to myself, I need to bring my son to Nosy Newtons. So if we have parents watching, well, he's still too young now, but once he's old enough, you're going to tell us this information now. How do I bring him there? How do I get our kids to join? From what age can they come through to Nosy Newtons?
Okay, thank you, Tiki. I'm definitely looking forward. I'll hold you to that, and I will make sure your son comes through and has a blast with us. Okay, so our curriculum is geared towards the R and double R group. So it's pre-primary school. And what we do is, if your school is interested in hosting this type of extracurricular activity, you give us a shout out on any of our social media pages, on our website, and my telephone number is on our social media sites as well. You can just pop us a message. We come through to your school, we present what we need, and you guys give us a yay or nay, and we go ahead. We do weekly classes for some schools. We do bi-monthly as well. We also do birthday parties. We do a lot of term end functions. So, you know, something exciting for the children after the exams. We host a big workshop. Everybody comes through. They get to take the experiments home and show their parents and enjoy it for the rest of the holidays. That's one of our main, events, the end of term function, because it allows them to continue with this experimentation throughout the holidays. So, you know, they've always got something to try out. Oh, I think I remember this. Let me go back to my box, take it out, and do my experiment. And it's a nice way to, you know, keep your children entertained.
Yes, but you're mentioning schools. Is it only through schools that kids can join?
We offer it at schools. So that is the main thing is at schools. However, we do have holiday workshops, and the holiday workshops are open to anyone. And in those holiday workshops, we have different age groups, you know, so we can cater for younger ones with a little easier experiments, going right up till, well, my son is about 12 now, so I would say about 14 years, where we do bigger, better, bolder, more fun experiments. We fly rockets, we explode things, we do a whole lot of stuff. We've got lots of rockets on my roof currently from previous workshops.
Mm. Oh, okay. And do you have any information about the holiday programs, or are you still working out the
We're still
terms of
working
that?
out. We are still working that out, Nziki. So we are thinking of, if there's anything, we will have it up on our social media pages. You can find us on all the pages at Nosy Newtons. And all the information, all the details, venues, places, times, prices, everything is on there. So once we have that settled, we'll be putting that up for you guys.
Perfect. Last question. It's more of a statement. Complete the sentence. I am a science communicator because.
I am a science communicator because as South Africans, we need to recognize that we're living in a time of change. You know, while our country is a beautiful little bubble, we understand now that we've got a lot of economical issues. We've got a lot of, issues that need to be dealt with if we need to move forth successfully as a country. So I'm a science communicator because I believe the answer lies in our absolute littlest ones. I believe they need to understand that they can become innovators, they can become inventors, they can become anything they want to be. They don't just need to be mass producers. We don't, mass consumers, sorry. They don't need to just consume things. That we can, create an environment that is conducive to South Africa. We've got beautiful landscapes. We've got, things that are indigenous to South Africa alone. So I'd like to communicate to all the people of South Africa that science in South Africa, with our climate change issues, with our environmental issues, I mean, things like, the Cape Town fynbos, it's something so unique to South Africa. If we understand the ecological diversity of that, the impact it has in society, it's going to create jobs for these little ones. These little ones are going to take South Africa to the next level. So I'm a science communicator because I hope that our little ones will help us be better.
I don't have anything else to say after that. I don't have anything else to say after that. I think it's the perfect way to end this live and say thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you to everybody for watching. I think it was absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much, Ntiki. I love your show. I love watching the Wednesdays. And I'm thoroughly looking forward to next week as well. Excited to see who you have. And thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to showcase Nosy Newtons and to, allow us to meet. And I'm looking forward to having more Newtons in my classes.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Have a great evening. Bye.